Now, Sports Talk with Brodes. Here's Hunter Brody.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Sports Talk with Brodes. Sunday afternoon should be a doozy in Arizona. KYLER Murray versus Jalen Hurts. And we know the storyline surrounding the quarterback play here. But there's a lot happening in Arizona as well. Look at the division that they play in. Look at the way that they started the season. They were the fun, exciting team. KYLER Murray, MVP talks, and then they dipped. And you can't afford to dip when you're playing with the Rams and Seattle. It will cost you. And right now, when you look at where they're at, they got to get these W's. They got to put together a nice stretch. Starts on Sunday, and I would imagine that their focus level, their intensity is at an all-time high. Not that the Eagles are looking at this any differently. You have a spark plug with Jalen Hurts, and he's playing confidently. He looks calm. He looks collected, and the team is rallying behind him. So there is that element when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, and I can't wait to see how the coaches elect to battle, because I think that you can really look at Jim Schwartz here and say, Jim, you better look at something. You're banged up extremely, and you got to find a way to manage KYLER Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, Drake, Larry Fitzgerald. They have playmakers. They have guys who can totally go out there and explode. So how are you going to elect to play this? He's got his hands tied behind his back. Darius Slay, we still have no word. We'll find out on game day. Avonte Maddox, Rodney McLeod, You're playing with Seymour. You're playing with Kayvon Wallace, a rookie. So Jim Schwartz has his hands tied behind his back. And still, the linebacking core, I know everyone's all reho about Alex Singleton. Still major flaws around this defense. And then add all these injuries. Good luck. Roby Coleman, he's been horrendous. So you can really look at Jim Schwartz and say, Jim, what are you going to dial up here? Once again, hands tied behind his back. Very limited in resources. I know that won't matter to some. I know people want him gone anyway, which is outrageous, may I add, and totally irrational. But I digress. So how will the Eagles play this defensively against those type of studs? Did I miss anyone? Kirk? You got Marcus Epps. It can get ugly. Let's flip it to the other side. Doug Peterson. Well, he definitely helped the quarterback out last game. There's no denying that. The game plan was strong. You're looking at a Cardinals defense that can make things uncomfortable, but they're beatable. And I'll explain why in just a second. First, we are broadcasting live from the Manscaped Man Cave. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BROD at manscaped.com. So they have Patrick Peterson. They have Kirkpatrick. They have a secondary with Budda Baker. They have nice players, but they're a beatable secondary. There's no doubt about it. Where they can give you a lot of problems is how aggressive they are elsewhere. What they can do with speed and aggressiveness and send more guys and confuse you. Whether it's giving you 5, 6, 7 men, what are you going to do? And when you got a rookie quarterback, yeah, you know what? Confusing him and making him think real quickly and having to make a quick second decision, that's the difference in a turnover or not. So they can disguise things. They can bring intensity. I think up front is where there's a lot of action for this Cardinals team. In the past game, I mentioned that secondary, they're 5th in the league in terms of yards per attempt. So you can look at the passing game and say, I don't know, dog, is it the best idea to constantly attack in that method? Knowing that that's what he does. He gets away from the run. He drops the quarterback back a billion times. But he didn't seem to do that to an insane degree last week. So hopefully he builds off of that. You can run on this squad. And that fits perfectly in what the Eagles can do most effectively with Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts together as a package. You got the read options in play. What happened last game with Miles Sanders breaking off for 82 yards and bringing it to the house with Fletcher Cox pointing at Malcolm Jenkins chirping? That happened because earlier, a couple plays before, you had Jalen Hurts get a nice solid gain. I think that is totally an avenue that Doug Peterson can expose. in the passing game at times, you had opponents go off, whether it was Tyler Lockett, 200 yards, double-digit receptions. You've seen guys succeed in the passing game against them. Like I said, they are beatable. I think you have a better opportunity in the run game, and that's why I'm super intrigued, because how many times do I say Doug Peterson doesn't really attack other teams' weaknesses? He just focuses on his offense. This is my offense. This is what I'm going to do, while not really analyzing what's happening on the other damn side. Now, he might luck into this one because he changed things. The philosophy has absolutely 1,000% changed with the mobile quarterback. And there were a lot of times against the Saints where Jalen Hurts was able to make a play because he flat out just made a play. It wasn't the play calling, like the play calling was bad or the play design was bad, but he ended up escaping and going for it. And I think there's going to be a bunch of times where that happens as well. But with this defense, I talk about how explosive they can be up front. I think you'll see a tougher time of Jalen Hurts trying to escape, getting to the sideline, trying to get out of the pocket that way. They bring this energy in that area of the field where it's not going to be as easy. So I just wonder, when Jalen Hurts is going on his own and it's off script and he's trying to just go out there and make a football play, will it be as easy as it was last week? And I know when you look at the stats, the Saints last week, the best defense in football, but they had this element of surprise going for them. They had no clue how to handle Jalen Hurts. This Cardinals team, they run an offense with KYLER Murray. They see this every single day. They know how it is to look at a quarterback who constantly uses his legs every game. So you would think that they would be more accustomed to that element of it. When you look at what they've done this year, though, the Cardinals defense, that is, they've struggled against Josh Allen. They've struggled against mobile quarterbacks. So have the Eagles, though. And when you talk about the run game, right, the Eagles defense in the run game and how much they have allowed, it's not as if all of it is coming from the running back position. How many times did it come from the quarterback, Daniel Jones? How many times did it come from a wide receiver getting a little funky on a jet sweep? So I just look at what the Eagles have struggled with to this point, and I see what's on the Cardinals roster, and I see what they do every week, and I go, uh-oh, this possibly can get ugly. If Daniel Jones is fooling you for an 80-yard play, what do you think is going to happen with a bunch of backups and KYLER Murray? I really hope they find a way to pull this together defensively. The only way they have a damn chance is if you look at this defensive front and they somehow duplicate what they did last week. Javon Hargrave was a monster. Josh Sweat was a monster. But you got to remember, there were guys dropping like flies throughout that game as well. Josh Sweat at one point, Derek Barnett at one point. So you don't know what level of defensive line you're really going to get. It seems like Fletcher Cox every single damn week at this point is on the injury report, whether it's a neck, whether it's this, whether it's that. But I always say with Fletch, he's like Lane Johnson. He's like Jason Kelsey. If he's not practicing all week long, he's going on Sunday. If he's on the practice report every single week, he's going on that Sunday. Every week he's going on that Sunday, no matter what. He just plays through it. But you got to win up front in those trenches. And there is absolutely a possibility of doing it. Because when you look at the offensive line for Arizona, beatable. You can destroy that matchup. Not only beatable, you can abuse that matchup. Brandon Graham, another guy to throw into the mix. You see teams go up against KYLER Murray and this offense and do a bit more. One specifically that stands out is what happened with the New England Patriots, where they gave you 5 guys. Now, you know what Jim Schwartz likes to do. He has a system, and he rocks and rolls with it. He wants the front 4 to get home, and then you patch up the rest with your secondary. Well, you've seen it be successful to bring more guys up. If you do that, though, think about what you're exposing. If you start bringing guys up, then you have Seymour, Marcus Epps, all these other players who are playing due to a bunch of injuries with other personnel. You're going to leave them on an island, or you're going to leave them going with other players DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald, good luck. So if to keep Kyler Murray maintained means you got to bring guys in and keep guys up by the line of scrimmage, well, then the alternative is good luck stopping arguably the best wide receiver in football. Good luck stopping Larry Fitzgerald, a Hall of Famer. Good luck stopping Kirk. There's nothing that you can do where you're 100% satisfied. Let's be fair. Let's be realistic. It's not like there's a game plan out there where Jim Schwartz can dial it up and there's zero flaws. You're going to have flaws no matter what you do. Last week's game where everyone was dropping, well, it put you in such a brutal situation. Think about if Darius Slay isn't able to go. Who is going to go on DeAndre Hopkins? Seriously. Sheesh. That is going to be a nightmare. And just to be fair, even if he does play, he got abused by DK Metcalf. He got abused by Devontae Adams. Is it possible that he would get waxed by DeAndre Hopkins as well? Yeah. I mean, yes. Absolutely. He's in concussion protocol, though, so a little different than other injuries, although you know that he does have lingering issues. He had the calf muscle. Was that what was bothering him in that Green Bay game? So, and look, nobody's 100% healthy at this point. Everyone's playing through something to some degree, but I'm just bringing up the concussion side of it because it's a lot different than saying, hey, I have a foot injury or I have an arm injury, upper body injury. The concussion, it's not the body part healing, but it is. It's the brain healing, but it's different from a physical injury. So there is that. The Cardinals defense. Hassan Reddick, did you see what he did last week? I feel this offensive line, the Eagles' offensive line, is going to have some trouble. You heard the news about Jack Driscoll. Not great. It sucks because he was someone who was intriguing. He was someone who you could look at as possibly one of your linemen of the future. Now, would that be at right guard? I don't know. You're in such a weird spot with your offensive line. Jason Kelce getting older, and every single year you have that conversation. Is he going to retire? Is he going to play another season? Right guard, Brandon Brooks is getting injured every year, a significant injury, but he's also countering that with an explosive offseason, or it's not really an offseason, but an explosive recovery and coming back to this crazy degree. So you have that in play, but he is getting older in his career. Lane Johnson, battling issues all the time. He's getting older in his career. You're clearly moving on from Jason Peters, but you have a 7th-round draft pick outperforming your 1st-round draft pick, a guy who never played football, may I add. So there's a lot happening with this offensive line, and Jack Driscoll, he's been a nice story and a rookie stepping in. Where does he fit? What can he play? And what is his role moving forward? Is it time to commit to getting younger on the offensive line? It does seem like there's time left with that right side in Brooks, Lane Johnson. Not much. I'm not claiming there's a lot of time left, but there's some. How does that impact Jack Driscoll? But for this game, you got Matt Pryor. And I just look at what the Cardinals bring to the table from that side of their line, and I think that they have a matchup that they can totally expose. Now, Mailata has been good, but it all comes down to Matt Pryor. We saw this happen when Brown was playing. There was a game earlier in the season where we couldn't even process how brutal that offensive line was. Well, tape then showed it wasn't even that bad. Just one guy was that bad. One guy was that miserable where it looked so horrendous. And guess what? I'm not saying Matt Pryor is Brown. I think he's a little bit more manageable, a little bit more serviceable, just a little bit. Not much, just a little bit. But one guy can make the difference. If one guy is not pulling his weight, it can go south quickly. The difference, you don't have Carson Wentz standing in the pocket for 3-4 seconds, surveying the field, seeing what's available. He's not going through 4 reads. What you got is Jalen Hurts, who once he realizes, hold on, something's not right here. I don't see anyone open. I'm feeling the pressure. When he has that instinct step in because he's feeling the pocket way better than Carson Wentz, as everybody in the damn league is, he's going to escape and try and make a run. I just don't know if it's going to be to the same level as 100-plus yards. You also have tape and you have film. so they can dive back to what Doug Peterson did last week and have a bit more. Is it enough? No, I don't think it's enough. You don't have enough to really see a full game plan. You don't have enough to see all of the tendencies that Jalen Hurts has and that Doug Peterson and Jalen Hurts has together as a coach and quarterback duo. But there's at least something there to go off of, which does change some element of design and some element of the chess game between the two coaches. All right, let's hear a word from my friends at DraftKings. DraftKings has brought their expertise to legal sports betting. It's a legitimate sports book based right here in the U.S., so you can rest assured that your funds are totally secure. DraftKings, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is safe, secure, and reliable. Deposit and withdraw at your convenience. Listen to this deal. It's outrageous. All new users have a chance to earn a sign-up bonus up to $1,000 when signing up. Download the app right now and use promo code BRODES. Check out all that they have to offer, including player props, live betting, and so much more. If sportsbooks are not yet available in your state, don't forget about the DraftKings Fantasy app, which offers millions of dollars in total prizes every single week. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. You know, one thing I thought about is, what if the Eagles don't have the lead? It's easy to run the football. It's easy to do what they did last week when you come out to an early lead and then you have it. You establish your identity for the game. If the Birds are down, let's say they're down 7, let's say they're down 3, let's say they're down 10, let's say they're down a manageable amount, but they don't have the lead. How is Doug Peterson going to call the game? We've seen so many times throughout his handful of seasons here, when things get ugly, when you're not in the best position, you drop back a billion times, you throw the football a billion times, and maybe he still does that, but the play design makes it more efficient. For example, these quick hitters, getting the football out quick, not having to worry about the offensive line getting abused. You don't have to worry about Matt Pryor getting waxed because you know Jalen Hurts is getting the football out to Miles Sanders within 1.5 seconds. Or maybe there's a crossing route or mesh or something that allows Jalen Hurts to not overanalyze and just, boom, get the ball out quick. And that essentially, because this is how football is these days, coaches call short passes and real quick passes, and they count that to them as part of their run game. So if they do that, well, you know, there's a method there where it's still technically passing, but you can get some solid yards. You can get some chunk plays. You can get the offense rolling a bit with play calls, even if Doug Peterson does elect to go more heavy in the passing. But I would imagine that happening, absolutely. Or what ends up happening is calls a lot of passing plays. It eventually turns into run plays because Jalen Hurts just utilizes his legs to move the chains. But a big concern for me is, how does this method go when you are playing from behind? You know that Lamar Jackson's biggest struggles is playing from behind. And I know what happened last week against the Browns was insane. Did he have to shit? Did he not have to shit? Doesn't matter. He comes back and he throws a touchdown pass anyway. Or did he end up actually throwing the touchdown pass later? Did that get them within a 1 or 2 yard line? I forget. Regardless, it was an unbelievable effort, and he came back when they were down. But it's been a huge knock on his career because of the style of play that he has and that the offense has. If you're down, I gave you 3, 7, or 10. What if you're down 17? And remember last week, you had turnovers. You had the defense playing extremely well. If this defense doesn't create any sort of turnover, are you going to have that same rhythm in your offense? You actually had good field position. Duke Riley with an interception. But there's other factors as well. Is Jake Elliott going to hit field goals? Is he going to be able to establish himself as someone that Doug Peterson can rely on for a 32-yarder, a 36-yarder, a 35-yarder? Anything inside the 40? If you can't hit the 40s, how are we even going to talk about 40 to 50? If you can't hit anything inside that, how are you going to hit anything outside that? That's going to be a monstrous part of the conversation, believe it or not. Yeah, the special teams. And also punt returning. I'm sick and tired of this Greg Ward nonsense. He was supposed to be your safe and reliable option. Is he? Is he that? Because every single damn time you're starting within your 5-yard line because no one's catching the damn ball. You got to give Jalen Reagor opportunities. And I want to see how the Jalen Hurts, Jalen Reagor duo, how that continues to grow. There's speed there. Miles Sanders, Jalen Hurts, Jalen Reagor. Those three, they can totally do some damage. It's about how do you make it work? Last week they had that chance. It was a deep ball. It was super close, but Jalen Hurts overthrew him. They weren't throwing the ball very deep. The game plan was simple. Quick, out, quick, out. Are there going to be more attempts downfield? Now that there's more practice time and there's more time to get together with the receivers, get on the same page, to be connected, to get more reps, will you naturally now see more play calls for downfield action? Because you didn't get much of it. You absolutely did not. Jalen Reagor. I see so many things I love. I would just love to see it more consistently. And then you hear Doug Peterson, speaking of wide receivers, go on this crazy discussion about Alshon Jeffrey playing better than Travis Fulgham. Have you seen what Alshon Jeffrey has produced over the last handful of weeks? You know what? Maybe technically he has. But let's not act as if Alshon Jeffrey is some world beater. Hell of a throw by Jalen Hurts to him back shoulder and getting crushed and taking the hit to do it. I'm sure the teammates loved it and was juiced up to see the quarterback willing to take a hit to make a play. But let's not act as if Alshon Jeffrey is some stud playmaker now all of a sudden. Travis Fulgham has his flaws. I am not claiming by any means that he was who he showed you for the 4 weeks. There's just no way that's who he was. But there's no way he has changed from that to 11 snaps to 0 production. He's got to be somewhere in between. And there's no way it's as simple as teams started game planning for him. Think about if that's the answer. Think about if he was that good, teams game plan for him so much, so heavily that he became irrelevant. You know what that tells me? That tells me you're not doing a good job coaching. You're not doing a good job scheming him open. You're not countering. You're not making the adjustment. If teams are taking Fulgham away, you're telling me you can't design options for him to get open on some of these players? They're not going up against Jalen Ramsey every single week. There's a chance to do this. So what happened? He doesn't need to be getting you 160 yards, 140 yards. Hell, he can give you 40. And that's a low bar, but 40? You're telling me 40 is too much? How did this happen? I'm sorry, you don't go from where you were to unplayable like this. Similar, huh? The quarterback? Just doesn't make sense. So why is this happening? All of a sudden, all of these players just magically forget how to perform? And I'm totally understanding that Travis Fulgham was this late round pick. He's been cut, practice squad. He has that behind him, and that's part of his career. So I'm not telling you he's Antonio Brown in his prime. But I'm telling you he's not this. He's not 11 snaps. They clearly killed his confidence. And that was happening with Carson Wentz, who everyone says blows, who everyone says has been miserable. So imagine what he possibly can be with someone like Jalen Hurts, who's throwing the football well, who's making decisions that make a lot of sense, who's properly understanding the game and reading the defense as well and being smart with the football. You would think it would only be better if Carson Wentz was giving you that type of production with Travis Fulgham. How come Jalen Hurts can't give you any? I'm sorry. To me, that absolutely 100% goes on the coaching. So how do I feel about this game? Well, one more thing on the defense. I would think you got to go zone. and I sort of touched on this with the man. If you end up bringing people up inside the box and you want to make a statement that, hey, we're not going to allow you with Drake to just pound the rock and have Kyler Murray explode and dance around in the backfield and then find a gap and go on a run for 20 yards. We're not going to allow you to do that. But if you do go man and you allow these Marcus Epps of the world and Seymours of the world and all these other players have to go one-on-one with some of these wide receivers, good luck. You're asking for hell. But once again, look at the flip side. Okay, if you're going to go in another direction and make sure DeAndre Hopkins doesn't beat you and make sure Larry Fitzgerald doesn't beat you, they're still going to get their numbers, but you're going to hold them to more of a respectful digit than, say, 120, 130, 140 yards for DeAndre Hopkins if you leave him alone and solo. Then Kyler Murray is just going to have a field day. So do you say, I'll give you two hypotheticals here. Option A is DeAndre Hopkins goes off for 150 yards, but Kyler Murray barely gets any rushes, and he's very manageable. Or Kyler Murray's exploding for 130 rushing yards, but DeAndre Hopkins has 50 to 60 yards. Now, I think that there's a way to win in both of those scenarios. Believe it or not, there is. But that's what you pretty much have to pick and choose from. I guess, in theory, DeAndre Hopkins and those explosive plays could possibly kill you more if they're super, super deep. In the passing game, you have a better chance of an 80-yard play than in the run game having an 80-yard play. So if you want to take your chances and play the numbers and play the statistics, but you can't allow Kyler Murray to just run all over you. Then what happens? Then they keep the ball. Then your offense doesn't get the football at all. And knowing that this secondary is so depleted, is it possible, going back to the run game, and I ask this all the time, is it possible that Doug does this? Is it possible that Doug does that when it comes to the run game? And it never really comes that way. It never really plays out that way. So shame on me for continuing to look at it with this set of eyes. But let me just throw it out there. Is it possible that Doug Peterson realizes his defense is so banged up and he wants to limit how much time the Cardinals have on the field, that part of the run game, not only is it what Jalen Hurts can do well and Miles Sanders can do well, it's something that the Arizona Cardinals allow. You can run on this team, and it keeps your defense off the field. You don't want to have Seymour out there. You don't want to have some of these players out there for so long. And if you want to play your odds, the more rest they get on the sidelines, the more ready they are, and the more ready they are to go when their numbers are called to go play some defense. So just limit how much time they have on the field. Win the time of possession battle. That limits Jim Schwartz's defense right now that have their hands tied behind their back. Just a way to look at it. That's the way I would go. But yeah, I'm interested to see how this Cardinals defense operates with Hassan Riddick, with Isaiah Simmons, with Budda Baker. Is Budda Baker going to make some insane plays out there? Maybe. What's Patrick Peterson have left? What's Kirkpatrick have left? It's a beatable secondary. It is. They're not bums, but it's beatable. They're around average, a little bit better than average. Beatable. That would require throwing the football. They're very beatable in the run game. So there's options to do it. There's a way to do this offensively. It goes on Doug Peterson putting together a game plan for this offense for them to go execute and for them to shred those options because it's there. It's available. It's different when you go into a game going, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. How are they going to beat Green Bay? I don't know. Now, I said the same thing about the Saints, and they did. This could definitely be a victory. Jason Kelce sure would be proud. Did you hear his little rant about how you got to win? I don't care if we're 0-15. I don't care about this or that. I don't care about assessing other players. I get it. And I totally appreciate who he is as a Warrior, and I love who he is for this city. He fits this city so perfectly. But, he's trying to say, I don't care about the future. I don't care about draft picks. This isn't the NBA, and that's something that I've been saying for a while. I get it. He's preaching to the choir with me, but I also think that at the other side, you can play both sides of this. All right, dude. Let's not act as if you guys are so great and we should just sit here and support horrendous football. You deserve to get crushed. You deserve to get criticized. You deserve to get abused by this fan base for this season that you had to this point. So it's not like your fans are reacting to a great season by spitting on your face. No. We're spitting on your faces because you spit on ours. That's how it is. So I can see his point, but I can also counter his point. But listen up, fellas. 2020 sucked. It's almost a new year, which means new balls with our sponsor, Manscaped. Manscaped is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming, offering precision-engineered tools for your family jewels and helping 2 million men all over the world get rid of the hair on their balls. They have the perfect package 3.0 that has all the right tools for the job. Come out of quarantine with clean balls thanks to the Lawnmower 3.0. This waterproof and skin-safe trimmer will reduce nicks to your two best friends. They also have the Crop Preserver anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. Don't forget about the Crop Reviver ball toner spray, the Shed travel bag to keep all your goodies stored, and the Manscaped anti-chafing boxer briefs. A guy with hairy balls is like the year 2020. Don't be that guy. Go look up this perfect package 3.0. It's insane. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BROD at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. So my thoughts, my closing thoughts as we sit here. Oh, I think they're going to do it. I really do think they're going to do it. I think they're going to do it. I think the Eagles are going to win. And when they win, if they win, it opens up a whole nother discussion. I know now people are looking at ways. What can they do? Can they make the postseason? Dallas, Washington, what's going to happen moving forward? The Giants, the division. Washington, the division. Alex Smith out. Dwayne Haskins. What's going on there? Can they really do it? Like the whole narrative has been insane. I can't get into any division conversation until I see this game. This game opens the door for more logical division and what can possibly happen talks. But until that happens, I'm not there yet. But I look at this and I see a team that is energized. I see a team that is ready to play. I see a quarterback that is confident, who's making the right reads, making the right decisions, taking off when he needs to. And I see an avenue to win. And because this is what happens here, I'm also basing this off of what it is. This is the Carson Wentz era. This will be how it goes down. When he doesn't play, the backup quarterback wins. So whether that's right or wrong, I'm just going off of gut feel with what I've seen out of his tenure. It's not about the X's and O's all the time. It's just about gut feel. What are you hearing? What are you feeling? What's your brain thinking? I'm thinking Jalen Hurts is going to bring this team to another victory. All the drama continues. It'll never go away. It'll only open up a insane offseason that we're about to go down. It already has. I mean, to this point, it's already there. Score prediction, Eagles 24, Cardinals 20. 24-20. Eagles get the victory. Tell me your thoughts. Thank you all so much for listening. Don't forget, I do got to throw in Orbit Energy and Power. All right, they're a great sponsor of mine. If you're looking to provide any sort of upgrade to your home, whether it's going solar, water purification systems, tree removals, electrical upgrades, a new roof, battery storage, you name it, go to Orbit Energy and Power. Their information is all down below. Their solar program helps eliminate your electric bill completely. They can provide so much. And I'm a new homeowner, so they've done a lot of work for me, and all of it has been flawless. So make sure you check it out down below. Their phone number's there. Give them a call. Talk to a team member. They have an awesome support team, and they will just explain to you how everything works. And from there, you can assess if that's something you would like to do or not. But I would say just listen to them about going solar and listen to them about what they can do for you and your family. All right, so thank you all so much for listening, and I will see you next time.